In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to create a design in Canva, and I'm creating a design using custom dimensions for a graphic that I'm creating for an article I'm publishing in LinkedIn. So what I'm at www.canva.com. I'm going over here and creating a custom size as opposed to using one of these templates. I'm using a custom size, and the size I want is 744 by 400 pixels. This is pixel. You'll notice you have other options, but you want pixels for the graphics. And this is my size, so if you have a different size, you just put in the different size that you want. This is the width, this is the height, and it will prompt you to put in the size by width and height. So we create a new design, opens in a new window. And the first thing we're going to do is change the background. And I know I have a custom color, so I'm going to click on this to add my custom color. And I need the F, but there's my custom color. All right, and then let's look at, I know I'm going to need an image. So let's look at, I am not sure which I want here. If I want, now notice that these little crowns indicate pros, so you pay for those images, but anything that doesn't have that is a free image. So if you're looking for free images, and I'm looking for something specific here, so let me just look for a minute. Let's see what that looks like. And I usually pull them, notice you just click on it and pull it over, and then I can play with it. That's centered. It shows you by outlining when it's centered. Okay, so that's not quite the effect that I want, but I kind of like that. So we're going to leave that for a moment while I look at a few more. I'm actually, so you can scroll through. Notice there's a little bar right here, and I just scroll through. Well, I could spend quite a bit of time doing this. Ooh, actually, this is the one I want. All right, so, but I don't want this one anymore, so we're just going to pull that off, and we have this one. I don't really want the blue background, but we're going to leave it there. And there's a reason why I want this. Actually, no, that's not the one I want. So let's just, to keep this moving along, I'll just pull something else. All right, we're going to go back up here and use something else. Go back and use this just for the purposes. I may change this later. All right, now we're just going to change. I don't want it to be so big, so we're going to have it centered. And I still need a little bit smaller because I'm going to put text on top and text on the bottom. So let's add some text. So I go over here on the left and click the text button. And I'm going to use the subheading size. Now you can change these sizes, so it doesn't really matter. And I am going to make it larger, so it's not going to come out in that size when I'm done. And we're going to have to play with this. How to create a snowflake blizzard. And we actually want a marketing snowflake blizzard. All right, now we've got to get rid of that, and we have another little problem over here. All right. So we want it to be bigger than that, and so we're going to play with it. Let's see what Droid Serif looks like. These are fonts that I've used recently, so it's easy for me to just play with these and see what I like. That's pretty simple, but we're going to go ahead and use it. Now, I want this to be white, so we're going to click up here for text color. We're going to make that white. We're going to increase the size, so we're going to highlight it and we're going to increase the size. And let's try that. Yeah, I like that. All right. Now, I don't want it to be too big. And the reason why is, again, if LinkedIn cuts off the outer edges, which it sometimes does, then it will, you won't see this in the images that it posts when I automatically post it to my social media sites. So I've learned that I want to keep it as centered as possible, and that actually is probably going to work even better, and that will allow me to take the size up even a little more. Although they're not playing nicely with me, I'm going to now notice that it's starting to encroach on my image. So I click on the image and I'm just going to grab the image and move it down a little bit. I want this centered, so we look. Now notice there's a vertical line that's telling me it's centered. Let's see what that looks like. When I click off to the side, it shows me what that's going to look like. That's pretty simplistic, but I kind of like it. Although, let's add a frame and see what happens here. I'm going to add a frame. And I've used this recently. Let's pull this over. And notice I'm going to have to adjust the sizing. And I just use these center pieces here. If I use the corners, it will pull it out. If I just want this side to move, or these lines, you use the pieces in these little prompts in the center. And I need to move this one down just a little bit more, and then I don't want it to be gray. I want it to be white to further outline. Let's see what that looks like. Perfect. All right, now let's make sure that this is centered, and that's pretty well centered, so that's exactly what I want. Now I'm going to save it, and this is what I'm going to call it, but I'm going to call it LIP, which is my code for LinkedIn publishing, snowflake blizzard. That will help me. I'll actually be able to find it by the image, but that will help me. And then for this purpose, I'm going to actually date it. I'm creating it in May of 2021. And I'm going to go over here to File, and I'm going to save it. And now I'm going to download it to my computer, because I'm actually going to upload it from my computer when I publish my article. So I don't actually want it in PNG, I want it in JPEG. And I just download it to my computer. And you see it shows the process of downloading here. That's all there is to it. So Go create.